Hey everybody, it's David. It would be easier to die than to retire. That is a quote from someone that I helped transition into retirement in my HR role, and a quote that was so stuck in my head, I just had to do a video about it. And that is the one we are going to talk about today. If you're new to me this week, I'm doing a March Madness personal challenge where every day this week in March of 2025, I am presenting one video from about a year ago that is especially meaningful to me and hopefully will be meaningful to you. These are low view videos that I am reposting and hoping that you will watch and you will get some value out of it. Hey, my favorite quote from this video is that a goal without action is simply a wish. Want to know what I'm talking about? Stay tuned and please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Are you turning your goals into action? I would love to hear from you. So let me ask you a question today. Would you like to retire early? Would you like to have financial independence where whatever might happen with your job or the world around you doesn't really matter because you are secure? How about just retiring with dignity and the finances that allow you to do whatever you want in retirement, to fulfill your dreams and do the things that you have always wanted to do? Doesn't that sound great? I imagine it does. The problem is it can be scary. It can be overwhelming, all the information that you need and the complexity to retire. That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk a little bit about the complexity of retirement and give you four tips to help you make this whole retirement thing just a little bit easier. Hey everybody, it's David from David in Progress, where we talk about financial independence and retiring early from the perspective of someone who is actually doing it. In my previous role, I was an HR person, HR partner is what the title was, and I helped a lot of people exit the company. And I'll never forget one person that I was helping through a layoff. Her name was Janet. And Janet is in her late 60s at this time, had been in her role for many years. She was an administrative assistant and her position was being eliminated. So basically she was being forced into retirement. She was going to get a nice severance and then she was going to move on to retirement. And Janet was one of those folks that I called my regular customers. And by that, I mean someone who talked to me often because she had a lot of questions. And I love questions, so I love talking to Janet. What was sad though, is that every time I spoke with her, I could just hear the fear within her voice. We were over the phone. And Janet would often say to me, David, it would be easier to die than to retire. I cannot handle this. I can't figure it out. It's too complicated. It would be easier to die than to retire. Months later, I still hear that voice in my head, the voice of Janet, telling me all these things about how hard it was for her to accept retirement. Janet had a lot of debt. It was student loan debt, believe it or not. She had taken on the loans of her grandchildren to go to college, thinking that that was a good thing to support them, and she had that. She didn't understand Medicare, and she was going to work on that. She had a 401k, but she didn't understand the balance, and she had not ever met with Fidelity, the provider that my company used, to ask about different retirement strategies. Janet was scared because she had no knowledge. You're different. You are here trying to figure that out. You and someone like Janet, you're why I have this channel. Ever since I heard that statement from her, I thought, I have all this knowledge. There is all this knowledge on the internet and all these different places. People need to know this stuff. So that is why David in Progress is here, is to help you overcome that fear. Also, I know I'm going to make some mistakes now that I have already early retired. And I want to be transparent and share those mistakes with you so that you can learn from my mistakes. But before we get to those, let's talk about 4 things that could make this a little less complicated for you. 4 things that I want to challenge you to do. The number one thing is to commit to learning something new every day. We call that 1% improvement. So every day or every week, try to improve by just 1%. And you'll be amazed how much learning just a little bit every day can help you in the long run. You know, it's the little things today that will make a huge difference, a big difference for tomorrow. I recommend listening to podcasts. I've got several that I'm going to recommend. There's also books. There's some great ones that I've learned. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those. And then, of course, you're here watching me. There are some great YouTube channels that you might want to check out. Podcasts, my favorite podcast that really changed my trajectory towards this early retirement thing is the Choose 5 podcast. I ran across it in 2017. You hear me talk about that date a lot on this channel. It was when my eyes really opened on what I needed to do to prepare for retirement, and it ended up being early retirement. So that's probably my favorite. There is another one. Rob Berger has a great podcast. I highly recommend listening to him. And then Catching Up to 5. If you're someone in your 40s or 50s, maybe you're not quite where you want to be, this is a great podcast from a little bit older audience that started a little bit later in their financial independence journey and talk a little bit about how they're doing it. That's a great one. Books. My favorite all-time book is The Millionaire Next Door. Read that one when I was in my 20s, I think. And it really sparked something in my head to make me think that this poor country kid could someday be financially okay, even with a limited income. So I highly recommend that book if you've never read it. More practical, I recommend The Simple Path to Wealth by J.O. Collins. That is a book that I've given away to just a ton of people. I'm a simple guy. My investments are simple. What I am doing to save is simple. Heck, what I'm doing in early retirement is simple. And that book really breaks it down for you very succinctly. J.O. Collins is great. Read his book and listen to him. He's interviewed on a lot of podcasts. Another book that I give away is called The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. One of my favorites. I give that to new college graduates and other people. Just make it automatic and it will happen. The book kind of explains the whole point of it right there. And then the third one I recommend, and he has a fantastic podcast, is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. And I want to say, within these three books, there are things that I disagree with and that I'm not doing. And I think that's really important. To read a variety of books, to listen to a variety of resources, and make sure that they somewhat disagree with each other, because you are unique. Your situation is different from what they are saying, and you can pick and choose from these different resources for the right solution that is ideal for you. Another thing that I highly recommend is to get a retirement mentor. And by that, ideally, it's someone who is ahead of you in the journey. Maybe I'm ahead of you because I am already early retired and I've done a lot of things, and I'm your virtual retirement mentor. Well, that's great. But if you can find someone that would meet with you in person, maybe breakfast every now and then, or just grab you for a lunch, who's ahead of you in that journey, that you can pick their brain and ask them really deep questions, that would be fantastic. So find a retirement mentor. The third thing is probably the most important, or second most important. I got one more that I think is even more important after this, is take action. Actually do something. The moment you stop this video, you can do something. You can log into your 401k, say, hey, I want to be 1% better right now. I'm going to up my contribution amount by 1%. Boom, you have done something. That is so critically important. A lot of people read books, they have goals, and they don't do anything. A goal without action is nothing but a wish. And you got to put action behind these things that you want to accomplish. So as soon as this is over with, buy one of those books, up your 401k, look for a mentor, do something. Last, and I mentioned is probably the most important, is just to believe. Believe that you can do this. Yes, you may have failed many times up until today, up until this moment. Man, have I failed a lot. And that's one reason my name is David in Progress here on the internet. I fail and I fail and I fail, but I try and I try and I try. I keep trying to move forward. And that is the key. You can read every book in the world. You can have the retirement mentor. You can watch every one of my videos. But nothing will change unless you believe that you can do it. You have to believe. And I believe that you do, or you wouldn't have made it this far in the video. We've got it now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to commit to getting 1% better every day by learning or doing an action. We're going to find a retirement mentor. We're going to find someone who is going to help us through this journey. That's either going to be a YouTube channel that I listen to a lot, or ideally someone that I meet with. The third thing is we're going to take action. We're going to go out and actually do something that by the end of the day today, I can say, yes, I took a step towards my goal. I am moving the right direction towards what I want to accomplish. And then lastly, the fourth thing is you are going to believe that you can do this. I want to thank you for watching my channel. It blows my mind to see the subscriptions and to see the number of thumbs ups and likes. But more importantly, it blows my mind to read the discussions that are taking place as a result of your comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a passion project for me. I am doing this for you. I'm doing this for people like you, for people like Janet, people that are on this journey, and to let you know that you do not have to be alone in this. There are resources there for you. There is a community for you. There are people who want to support you in your goals. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, giving me those thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for leaving those comments. It really encourages me to continue. So thank you, thank you.